Forward TV. The world is thinking.
I think that the bottom line, though, is that right now 90% of the population is criminal. And that means most of you and your children, right? Because we're doing something that is technically possible, but that hasn't been licensed, right? Not only because it's maybe not licensable or we have no scheme for it, granted, but on the other hand, what's happening here, this is about control, right? This is the bottom line. It's about who controls what you do with this stuff, right?
Yeah, but if it's their asset, if a company creates a product, don't they have the right to decide how the product is used if it's part of the, quote, terms of service?
It's about being reasonable or not, right? This is the factor is price, service, access, and being reasonable, right? The unreasonable mode is to say, okay, here's the deal. You go online, you spend money, you put your credit card in, you're going to get a file that only works, you know, over here. This is like saying your car only gets Shell gas, right? And then, you know, after you do this and it says, here's another deal, right? You can't possibly share this or move it to your phone, and basically becomes a running of hurdles that makes anybody who tries to be legal a fool. Right?
So are we saying then that the industry itself, with things like DRM, has actually forced or is causing kids to steal music?
DRM creates non-compliance. You know, DRM creates the effect that they try to avoid. Right? This is just like region coding or DVD protection, period, but region coding in particular creates the effect that you come home and it doesn't play and you say, well, why did I buy this DVD? Next time I'm just going to download it. Right? So it creates the very effect.
It's not just a justification. It's not just a justification for saying, well, I'm not getting it exactly the way I want. I mean, if I go into a store and they only sell a pair of socks and I only need one, they won't sell me a single sock, so I'll take the one that I need. I only need one because the other one doesn't have a hole in it, so just give me one. I mean, there's always a way to justify something that inherently you know that, okay, you forced me to be a thief, you forced me to steal, you forced me to...
So is there a cultural issue here, though? Is it?
It's a big cultural issue.
Again, this is
because you talk about, I mean, DRM, one of the things that DRM does, and look, I don't work at a label anymore, and I have no allegiance to any of the music companies. I really don't, trust me. I'm on my 11th month of my 12-month program of exiting. And, but DRM also allows, digital rights management at its core allows for a set of business rules that allow for choice. Before we had one product, we had a CD. Do you want to buy it? Don't you want to buy it? Now we have subscription, we have timed out. I mean, there's all different ways to deliver music. The DRM, by setting different rules and different value propositions, allow for a choice that we didn't have before. So yes, it does provide limits, but if the limit is that I can subscribe to Rhapsody or Napster or Yahoo Music Service for $10 a month and get access to 3 million songs, or I can spend the same $10 to buy 10 tracks on iTunes, or I can spend the same $10 to buy one CD at Best Buy, I don't know, I may go for the $10 for 3 million songs, even though I don't own them. If I get access to them and I can listen to whatever I want without that limit that you talk about, isn't that a win?
I think it would be if it worked. You know, if DRM was a standard across all platforms, all devices, all users, then I'd be happy saying, like, hey, this is a way of monitoring and making sure this works. But the reality is, in music, this will never work. We got 75,000 devices that play MP3s, and we got 72 devices that play DRM. Right? How in this ecosystem are you going to tell people to come on the same page with a system that works across platforms? And if it doesn't work across platform, it's dead. Right?
But you've got HD DVD and Blu-ray right now. You've got two different platforms. I can buy an HD DVD. It won't play on a Blu-ray player. Is that so? Is that another reason to rip the movie?
We also had Sony and Sony Betamax and
VHS.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, you do have to grant that music is quite different, right? Music versus motion pictures or software or games is a whole different cup of tea, right? Everybody listens to music. Everybody likes music, right?
And yet nobody seems to want to pay for it.
No, actually, I think that's the wrong assumption. I think people do want to pay. It's about being reasonable and having a platform that people actually appreciate. It's about value. People will pay for value. And to assume that people don't want to pay just because they're downloading, I think that is sort of like declaring war on the consumer that record companies have been good at for the years, essentially creating a nuclear war out of this. And this is a war that's already lost. This is utterly lost. This is like a musical Vietnam.